Okay, students, I would like to tell you that in the last class, we were discussing about the MEMS technology. Okay, so what do you mean by MEMS technology? It is micro electromechanical systems technology. Okay, so here the miniaturization leads to this particular technology to exist in the era. So usually in the olden days, you will have seen that. For example, I will give you the best example I can give you is the mobile phone. Okay, so in the mobile phones, what was the thing which was there is in the initial days, phones, okay, telephones or mobile phones, that was coming with a huge what you call for that the size of the gadget was very huge. Okay, so now after that, the due to the lot many process and improvements in the electronics field, especially in the VLSI, okay, and MEMS technology. So this particular leads to nanotechnology. All these technologies led to the miniaturization of the devices. So now whatever the devices you are using, so that will fit exactly in your palm. So they can give in the lesser size also, but so due to the display of mobile phone, okay, so you are going for a standard 5 inch or something like that, you are going to use it. Okay, so that is what exactly the energy or what you call for that strength of the technology what we have in the today. So in the mobile only the camera. So if you take the camera, how many megapixels and all. So just in the mobile phone, so the camera part is also fixed. So that many features we are having today. So all these technologies, all this development came to existence by using the MEMS technology, VLSI technology, embedded system technology, nanotechnology. Okay, so that is what I can say. So in the last class, we have seen all these things, and we have seen that how that particular MEMS actuation method is going to work and all. So we have seen. So later mechanical movements using MEMS technology and all. So in the rotational movement and the transitional mode. So how these particular two modes affect. So all these things we have seen. So in the daily life, we will be seeing many applications of MEMS technology. So in that particular many applications of MEMS technology, what are those particular technology? What are those particular applications? If you see it, so here automobile airbag deployment system, we are going to use it. The next one is what inkjet printer head, monitoring sensitive goods, monitoring moving machinery, biomedical for monitoring the patient activity, and in OFC to build active optical components. So all these things will be the applications of MEMS technology in the last class we have seen. So based on this particular applications, we have one application we have taken. So what is that particular application? The last one is what? In OFC, to build the active optical components, we will be using the MEMS technology. That particular application part we have taken because our subject is optical fiber communication. So wherever the light wave communication is happening, so we are concerning more regarding that one. So here are active optical components, the particular thing when we started to see it. So there are various, according to as per your syllabus concern. So there are maybe the various active optical components which are present. That is the first thing what variable optical attenuators, tunable optical filters, dynamic gain equalizers, optical add or drop multiplexers, polarization controllers, and chromatic dispersion compensators. Okay, so all these things we are going to study one by one. Okay, so in the yesterday class we started with the variable optical attenuators. So in this particular variable optical attenuators, the short form is what VOA. So anyhow, we will be not using that much times that particular the word variable optical attenuators. You can remember the full name only. That is not a concern here. So the function of optical attenuator is to decrease the light intensity. That is a very important thing. sometimes what exactly happen is when the more energy comes to you also, any comes to a device also, we cannot able to manage that particular amount of energy. So once we are not able to manage that particular amount of energy, what we do usually, so we do like okay, so we do like we are going to decrease the level, okay, level or decrease the intensity level. That particular decreasing the intensity level is called as what? Attenuator, attenuation. The device which do that particular process is called as what? Attenuator. So here the VOA allow an operator to change the level of attenuation. So your attenuation range and accuracy are the two important parameters of attenuation. Okay, so your attenuation range and accuracy are the two important parameters of the attenuation we need to consider. So here VOA offers high dynamic signal level control. That is one of the important feature also. In the last class we have studied this particular diagram also. I think you will have taken. So I was explaining like so when the fiber is there, okay, so the light wave is traveling from one fiber to another fiber or one end of fiber to another end of fiber. Between that particular two fibers or two end of the fibers, okay, so we are inserting the variable attenuators. So now here it is, as I told you in the last class, it is something like water is flowing in a pipe. So if you just close some part of the portion of the pipe, the remaining part only it is open and water will started to flow in that particular path only. Clear. Similarly here also, when the attenuator is inserted in the fiber, so how much amount of attenuator is inserted, that much amount of attenuation we are going to get. So if we insert fully into the fiber and we are trying to attenuate most of the signal, that is what exactly is happening. Okay. So I think people have taken this particular diagram. So once you have taken this particular diagram, we can go on understanding the next one. So that is the next heading. Please take down all of you. That is the tunable optical filters. Okay. So tunable optical filters. So when you're talking about the tunable optical filters, so what do you mean by tunable? So there should be some parameter which is going to be tuned. Okay, that is what exactly the meaning of tunable. Okay, so we don't know. So we have to see that whether the amplitude is going to tune, frequency is going to tune, or wavelength is going to be tuned. So the set of wavelength enters the tunable filter and a control mechanism guides the filter in its dynamic selection of a desired individual wavelength. A set of wavelength enters the tunable filter and a control mechanism guides the filter in its dynamic selection of the desired individual wavelength. Okay, so here the wavelength is going to be tuned. That is what exactly the thing here. Okay, so here the important parameters of tuning filters are, okay, so dynamic range we need to consider, bandwidth we need to consider, number of resolvable channels we need to consider, tuning speed, and insertion loss. So these are the important parameters of the tuning filters. So please make a note of this particular parameters, all of you. See, when the question is asked, like they may ask you like write a short note on, okay, tunable optical filters. For 4 marks they will ask you. So when they ask you, at least just writing the diagram and writing some explanation is fine. So you may get 3 marks, but another 1 mark is there, no? So in order to score that particular mark, you need to write some extra addition essence to the answer. What is that particular essence to the answer is? important parameters. Okay, so if you write these particular parameters and all, so the evaluator will get impression, okay, good impression on you. So they will give you good marks. That is what exactly the difference between the normal understanding and different understanding. Okay, so normal understanding and understanding in fully. Okay, so please make sure that you are understanding this particular thing correctly. The important parameters of tuning filters are, write down all of you: dynamic range, bandwidth, number of resolvable channels, tuning speed and insertion loss. Please write down all of you. A set of wavelength enters in a tunable filter and control mechanism guides the filter in its dynamic selection of a desired individual wavelength. So once you have taken this one, please let me know. Hope you people have taken this one. Okay, we can go forward. So we'll take this particular diagram. So your wavelength is going to be tuned. So you can see that lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda n. So different wavelengths are coming. So the signals are having different wavelengths are entering into the tunable filter. So in the tunable filter, how much amount of, okay, how much amount of wavelength has to be there for each signal, each individual signal, that will be seen. And once it is being seen to it, and if it is not in that particular value, so the tunable filter will tune the frequencies or tune the wavelength to the desired one. So if it is already the desired one, not a problem. If it is not the desired one, the tunable filter will tune to the desired level and then it will pass as the output. So that is the functionality of the tunable filter. So this is also one of the important thing. Why? Because so most of the times what exactly happen, we have the signal with one particular wavelength, but we get the device which can which can make the wavelength to some other level and that is the desired level, and we are going to get as the output. That is what exactly the thing here. That is called what tunable filter. So please write this particular representation. So I cannot say this is the diagram, or I cannot say this is the what you call for that block diagram or something like that. So I can say only the representation. So tunable filter will be there. So the input will be many wavelengths and output we are going to get. Okay, that particular thing we can take it. So write down the tunable filter. So your wavelength is going to be tuned. So here one thing you need to observe is when we are tuning the wavelength, is that the value of the wavelength is just a desired one, we are going to feed it, yes. But the thing is what you need to observe is, so there in the input side there is a lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda n. So that means what lambda values are ranging from 1 to n. So when the values of lambda are ranging from 1 to n, so obviously, okay, so tuned output should be in the range of 1 to n. Okay, so if it is not in the range of 1 to n, we cannot achieve the thing. Why? Because that is the we can modify little thing. We can modify so few parameters anything, but we cannot modify completely. That is why I can tell you very clearly that. Okay, so whatever the tuned wavelength is there as the output, no, that particular tuned output should be, okay, that particular tuned output should be the minimum. So the value should range from 1 to n, that is the minimum 1 to maximum n. Between this particular range, the tuned wavelength should be present. Then only it is going to happen. That is one of the limitation, or that is one of the criteria or condition I can say. So please write it down, all of you. So once you have taken this one, we can go for the next slide. So here we can see that the MEMS technology based tunable filter consists of two sets of epitaxially ground semiconductor layers that form the single fabricated cavity. Now see, this is the action, this is the working principle of tunable filter. Now if you incorporate the MEMS technology in this particular manufacturing process of the tunable filters, okay, tunable filters. So here the MEMS technology based tunable filters. So what they are consisting of? They are consisting of two sets of epitaxially ground semiconductor layers, two sets of epitaxially ground semiconductor layers that form the single Fabry-Perot cavity, that will form the single Fabry-Perot cavity. Okay, so you know that what is the use of Fabry-Perot cavity. What is the use of Fabry-Perot cavity? Fabry-Perot cavity is a laser action taking place area. Okay, so you know that Fabry-Perot is a one type of laser. Okay, how we are going to get the laser light using the Fabry-Perot. Okay, so here this particular Fabry-Perot, the cavity will be generated. Okay, so here what exactly happened? Two sets of epitaxially grown semiconductor layers. So that were two sets. So in the front and back ends, the two sets of epitaxially grown semiconductor layers will be present. So the light will be reflecting to and fro in this particular epitaxially grown semiconductor layers. So that later will form the single Fabry-Perot cavity. That is that particular cavity will look like a single Fabry-Perot cavity. So we are getting most of the output here. So here whatever the tunable wavelength you need to be tuned, that can be tuned. Okay, so there is a process here. Every particular devices may be manufactured by the same what you call for that same material and all, but action working principle, the slight difference will be there always. Okay, so here device operation is based on the distance of mirrors. Okay, so generally any one of the mirror is moved to select the wavelength. So as I told you, so if the light is traveling or reflecting to and fro or front and back, between the two mirrors, the intensity of the light will get increased, correct? So when the intensity of the light is getting increased, that will be high density wave, we can say. Once we are saying that particular light has a high intensity wave, okay, so what is the next process? The next process is very simple, okay. So we get the monochromatic high density light wave. So now we don't want to get the monochromatic high density light wave. So what we can do the next one? So next thing is very simple. Hello, somebody ask anything? Okay. So now here the wavelength, in order to select the wavelength, so the movement of the distance between the two mirrors is a major criteria. Okay. So if the mirrors are very near, okay, what will happen? The movement of reflection will happen in a very faster way. When the reflection is happening in a faster way, the frequency is getting increased. Okay. When the frequency and wavelength, you know that how they are related, okay, inversely related. So the frequency is increasing. That means what? The high intensity is coming. The wavelength will be decreasing. So you want longer wavelength. The distance should be more. Okay. So when the distance between the two mirrors is more, okay. So this is the thing which is going to happen. Clear. So wavelength will be increased. Frequency will be decreased. So that is how. So now in the fabric part, what exactly happen is we cannot move two mirrors also. It is the unusual process. So what we do is always one particular mirror will be fixed. Okay. So once one mirror is fixed, the second mirror only we are going to move to and fro. So once we are moving the second mirror to and fro, okay. So we get how much wavelength we want to get. That particular wavelength we are going to generate by using the placement or distance between the two mirrors. That is what exactly the criteria here. Okay, all must understand this particular process. Please make a note of these particular sentences. So once we taken this particular two sentences, so we can go for the understanding of this particular thing. Okay. So here I can see that there are two mirrors. Sorry, there are two mirrors which are placed in the two optical fibers. See here. So your optical fiber in the left hand side and optical fiber on the right hand side. So between these two mirrors there is a distance L. Okay. So this particular distance L, that means for this distance L is the distance between the two mirrors also, I can say. Okay. So now when this particular thing is happened, so this particular two fibers are covered by the encapsulation outside. Okay. So now the wave, okay, so whatever the wave is incidented from one particular fiber, okay, so it will reach from one end and it will reflect back to the other mirror. So this particular cavity will not allow, okay, this particular cavity will not allow the light signal to go outside. So it the all signals which are there, so that will be moving to and fro in this particular mirrors, between these two particular mirrors only. So when this particular thing happens, okay, when this particular thing happens, so what exactly the next thing is, okay, so how much amount of wavelength is required, that particular amount of wavelength is generated by placing the mirrors. Once we get it, so we can take to the another fiber. So one fiber, in the input fiber there is a wavelength, so output fiber will get the desired wavelength. That is what exactly the concept here. Okay, so here I can see that piezoelectric transducer we are going to use it. Okay, this particular process. So you please make sure that you're writing this particular diagram. So you know that piezoelectric transducer, we are generating the piezoelectric, that means what? When we step on to that particular any disturbance is there in this particular piezoelectric transducer, so that much amount of electricity will be produced. So that particular setup you are going to use for the tunable filters. Okay, so you are tuning the wavelength what we are going to obtain. So your optical fiber will be tuned. That is what exactly the concept here. Please make sure that you are writing this particular diagram at the earliest. So I guess you will return this diagram. So once you return this diagram, we'll go to the next dynamic gain equalizer. So I just give another 1 or 2 minutes. Please write this particular diagram properly. Please write down diagram, all of you. So once you have written this particular diagram, okay, we can go for the next type of active optical component, that is the dynamic gain equalizers. So dynamic gain equalizer means what? Okay. So gain equalizer means what? At last, equalizer means what? So we'll go from the last word, equalizer. So equalizer means what? Whatever the thing you give, so it will make it equal and it will send. Okay, that is what exactly the meaning of equalizer. Okay, now we'll go to the next one. It is a gain equalizer. Okay, so your gain means gain of the signal. That particular gain of the signal, we need to make it as a equal, so that for every input, for a certain amount of input, only the certain amount of output will be generated by using the gain. Okay. So in this particular phenomena, next word is what? Dynamic. So dynamic means it is not a static, and dynamic is the next thing. Okay. So static means what? Already it is present. Now we are going to continue, we are going to take it and we are going to equalize it. That is the static. So dynamic means what? In the real time. So in the as and all. So when the thing, when it needs to come, it will come. So see what happens, when the reception process, when the receiving process you are doing, okay, the wave started to come. So once the wave is started to come, okay, we need to receive it. That means what? In the real time we are going to receive the signal. Okay, so we cannot say that, okay, you be there for some time, after that I'll take it. No, we cannot say it. So dynamic means, so real time it is coming and we are going to do it. That is what exactly the meaning of dynamic gain equalizers. So that is what exactly the word meaning, the meaning of the word dynamic gain equalizers. So here the purpose of equalizer is to provide an output suitable for the detection. Okay, The purpose of equalizer is to provide an output suitable for detection. Okay, so that is the first purpose, we need to serve it. Second purpose is what DGE, that is dynamic gain equalizer, is used to reduce the attenuation of individual wavelengths within a spectral band. Okay, within a spectral band. DGE is used to reduce the attenuation of individual wavelengths within a spectral band. The next thing is what it compensates for various transmission losses on each channel. Okay, so what is the advantageous features we are going to discuss now. Okay, what are the advantageous features here? The purpose of equalizer is to provide the output which is suitable for the detection. That is the first advantage. The second advantage is what? DGE is used to reduce the attenuation of individual wavelength within a spectral band. Okay, so detection of attenuation is also one of the advantageous feature. So next thing is what? It compensates for various transmission losses on each channel. So it compensates for various transmission losses on each channel. Okay, that is what exactly the next thing. So transmission losses need to be reduced. It is going to compensates. Okay. The next thing is what DGE are generally used to equalize the amplitudes of spectral components at the output of EDFA, erbium doped fiber amplifier. So EDFA is one type of optical amplifiers what we have. So that particular EDFA we are going to see in the next sections. Okay, so DGE are generally used to equalize amplitudes of the spectral components at the output of EDFA as shown in the figure. So the functionality or working principle of DGE we can able to see in this particular diagram. So in this particular diagram, you can see that the output of the fiber. That means what? When we are talking about the output of the fiber, it is at the receiving side. Clear? When it is at the receiving side, thus whatever the input wavelength spectrum is there, no, that wavelength spectrum may not be of equal gain. Okay. So one thing is small, one thing is medium, one thing is high. So like that, the input wavelength spectrum is appearing. So when this particular thing is there, okay, so what we can do is if we feed all these different stream of a wavelength to the DGE, that is the dynamic gain equalizer, so you can see that output is what all signal are having the equal wavelength. Okay, so that means what all spectral components will be having the equal wavelength. That is what exactly you can able to see. Okay, so output wavelength spectrum we can able to see properly like this. Input wavelength spectrum you can see that there is a variation. So that particular all variations of the gain, okay, is been fed to the DGE. So DGE will make all the gain equal, and we are getting this particular output wavelength spectrum. Okay, dynamic gain equalizer will do it. That is what exactly the meaning of output of this particular fiber is taken, and the output of the dynamic gain equalizer. This is the functionality. So now I request all of you to take a few points regarding this particular dynamic gain equalizer. After that, we can able to take the diagram. Please take a few points regarding this particular thing. After you taking this particular few points, we can go for the next one. So when we go for the next thing, you can see that the output on this particular diagram you can able to see. So output of the fiber, that particular thing we need to represent very clearly. Why? Because so your input wavelength spectrum you will write, output wavelength spectrum also you will write. Okay, but we tell that this particular dynamic gain equalizer will be used at the receiving side because continuously the signal is coming. So dynamically it has to take the action. That is why output of the fiber, that particular thing you need to write properly. So if you don't write this one, so the major part, okay, some important part of the answer will be missing. Okay, that is what exactly the concern here. Okay. So once you do this particular process, that is output of the fiber and all. Okay. So we can go for this particular next topic. So here the operation and control based on the feedback is done electrically. So that is one of the important thing here. The operation and control of this particular dynamic gain equalizers is based on the feedback. Okay. So that particular feedback, it is done electrically. So electrically means what? By using the electricity. So their optical feedback helps in controlling the vast fluctuations in the launched optical power. So optical feedback helps in controlling the vast fluctuations. So here what exactly happen is if there is a vast fluctuations, okay, in the launched power, okay. So what happens? The launching, if it see, you know that you will be having the fuses at your home, okay. So when the huge amount of fluctuation is there, okay, the fuse will burn out. Why it will burn out? It understands that if there is a vast fluctuations, so obviously the devices will get damaged. Okay, so that is why. So the fluctuations to be avoided. So when the fluctuations are to be avoided, so what we can do is the optical feedback helps in controlling the vast fluctuations in the launched optical power. Okay, that particular thing we need to consider. So the next thing is what applications. So when we're talking about the applications, so it compensates for attenuation losses. So what are the applications of dynamic gain equalizers? So as I told you, so once we read the some explanation part of it, the diagram has to be written. Once you read the diagram, so we need to write the applications also. Then only our answers will be completed. So your applications, it compensates for attenuation losses. So it overcomes with the channel attenuation. So the next thing is what add or drop the different light component to the networking multiplexer. So this is one of the next advantage or application. You can see that add or drop the different light component. Okay, different light component means what? The light wave. Okay, so when you're talking about single wave, the light components means what? Polarized. Okay, one is horizontal and another one is what? Vertical. So that particular thing you need to consider. It compensates for attenuation losses. It overcomes the channel attenuation. So it adds or drop the different light component to the networking multiplexer. So please make a note of this particular things, all of you. So once you have taken this particular thing, okay, so we can this one, okay, I think I will have taken this particular diagram. So after taking this diagram, I told you to write this particular explanation part of it. So once you have done the explanation part of it, we can go and see that optical add or drop multiplexers, that is ADM, add or drop multiplexer, OADM I can also I can say optical add or drop multiplexers. So I just see this particular time now. So it is the 10:45 now. So this particular OADM we will see in the next coming class. Okay. So as of now, okay. So you people are okay. Now attendance status. If I just see that it is a 44 something. So